incredibly strong jungle cleave. And then in the other bracket, we have Northern Gaming against I can't remember the name, TROUBLEM, I believe. So they're playing the Red Hunter. Again, a very, very, very difficult matchup for the RMD. So some very good games coming up in the near future. As you can see, the Yacht Boys, Toxic Youth have locked in their spot. We'll see them play later today, don't you?
Blue would be better off bringing Zuniaki in against Team TROUBLEM.
This is the question, right? So the Shadow player, actually, yeah.
Oh, what do you do?
Oh, but they got counter-picked. They read the swap. Beautiful from TROUBLEM. Like and I'm not actually sure who's on the Warlock. I think it must be Pancake, actually. We haven't seen Pancake's Warlock once. We've never seen this in a tournament. So this is the ultimate test. They must feel incredibly confident. And of course, the matchup is one that the FLS generally people accept is maybe has a slight advantage. So Kavi, he swaps up. He's opening onto Minpoike on that old Paladin. Zuniaki and Raikou, they're going to have to come up huge for NG Blue because ultimately at the minute, Minpoike taking a lot of damage, dropping low already. The pre-tremor gets killed on Rana. They're going to swap it over onto Rana. The full Horrify comes out. He actually gets the Dispel on that. Beautiful Dispel by Barbie
But
Grill.
it might not matter. He's still to be really low. It might just not matter. Caught into the Silence Line. He needs to drink it! No! They won the mind game, but NG Blue knew the strategy. The same way that Zuniaki was able to take some games against the Lock Shamans in, I believe, 2014, making those Shaman swaps, landing the full Fear and then switching out of the Fear. It was just, that was a textbook swap from NG Blue, and Rana did not answer that appropriately. I mean, wait, yeah, he did 700,000 healing. I was about to say he did 0, but the scoreboard reading it wrong. So unfortunately for Rana, NG Blue will capitalize on that mistake and take victory despite TROUBLEM winning the composition mind game.
I mean, Rana had two choices. So the Warlock was playing Imp Dispel, and for those of you who don't know, it's an alternative to the CS where he can dispel one magical debuff from any member of his team, including himself. So it means he, when the Shaman got caught up in that Horrify, he got a bit lucky. He dispelled the Horrify instantly, and that must have given Tanner this kind of feeling of security because he'd been dispelled out of that 4-second horror. But of course, he didn't really press anything afterwards. So they did get the Hodge on him. Zuniaki attempted to silence the Trinket, but ultimately he didn't even Trinket. He should have reacted. I mean, he could have preemptively linked highway through, and then they could challenge the Shadow or the RMD of NG Blue. We'll have to see what the options are. We see the same compositions locked in. We're not too surprised about this. No. NG Blue sticking to the Shadow that worked. TROUBLEM going for their counter pick, which of course we didn't really get to see in action last game. Kavi blinking in, gets onto Zuniaki, but not too much happening this early.
No, not yet. Raikou caught into a Cyclone, so Kavi's looking to slow down the pressure as he switches to Minpoike. I wonder if they're going to go after Kavi. He's very overextended, out of line of sight of Rana. Rana's trying to ground a deep freeze there. He doesn't manage to find it, though. Raikou looking for some sheeps. Not able to get those either. Now Kavi looking for a Cyclone. Cyclone's up Zuni, so Kavi's doing a good job of kind of displacing Northern Gaming. Well, one of them is always in CC, so they're unable to commit their attack. Zuni wants to get a Fear on Rana. He pre-tremored the Fear. Really well played from Rana. He knew that what was coming. Minpoike actually deciding to bop himself to deal with the Incarnation, so he will remove the stuns as they set up over onto Rana. He just trinkets and drops the Spirit Link on that Fist of Justice. It's usually expected. Northern Gaming Blue's composition in that first attack, the first burst that they do, is the highest amount of damage that they can get because everything lines up so well. Yeah,
Pancake used the double. He dispelled and he summoned a new pet so he could dispel again. Unluckily, did not dispel the CC, so Rana having to use that Trinket Link. They actually tried to swap it over a little bit onto Pancake there with the silence onto Rana, so that's actually not going to be available for a little while, which is slightly unfortunate for NG Blue. I feel like maybe they could have held on to that cooldown. We see the second Dark Soul now coming out from Pancake on the Warlock. He actually gets feared up on his own, so again, the fear does not quite land onto Tanner. Can they land the sheep? They do so. So this actually is a lot of trouble for Pancake. He trinkets out, uses the Dark Regeneration. Minpoike also taking a lot of pressure, bashed up on the Aura Mastery. Second Bob comes out, unable to use that bubble for 30 seconds. They don't, unfortunately, land the full Cyclone. Rana gonna use the Stone Form here, so that's another cooldown forced by NG Blue, but they do survive for now.
Yeah, this Warlock is playing very well. He's got full dots on Raikou, full dots on Minpoike. This is supporting Kavi very well. If he can get another row of dots on Zuniaki, Minpoike will struggle. He doesn't have Avenging Wrath. He may even need to bubble. Kavi is just relentless. Zuni's trying to off-heal him, but he's spending so much time healing instead of doing damage. He's constantly having to flash heal Minpoike. Minpoike's holding Kavi down here like they want to set up an attack on him, but Kavi has his Trinket. He'd be more than willing to have an attack on himself. It'll allow him to stay aggressive. He actually locks Minpoike Minpoike on his heel. Minpoike could just go down. He's down to 20%, barely bubbling in time here. Now Rana needs to be careful. Zuniaki wants to set up on him. If he lands the full fear here, they're just going to go for the kill. Rana has no trinket. He needs to be peeled right now. They dispel the Horrify, but now he's caught into a stun. Nobody can peel. Zuniaki fears the entire team. How are they going to stay alive? Nice Shadow Fury out from the Warlock. Gives Rana enough breathing room to connect that Spirit Link to his team. Now they're bringing the aggression towards Minpoike. Minpoike's ready for it, though. He's already deflecting it with his Avenging Wrath, but Barbie Girl, the Warlock, is playing this smart. He has a Dark Soul charge. One charge, he's saving it, waiting to use it when Minpoike's Avenging Wrath falls off.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play there by Barbie Girl, both offensively and defensively. The Shadow Fury did save Tanner's life. If it wasn't for that Shadow Fury, they would have just silenced the follow-up. He had no Stoneform, no Trinket. He would have died before the Spirit Link. Now, Minpoike used his wings offensively on that last setup, so this Demon Soul is going to do so much work. Another swap onto Tanner. He does have the Trinket, but no Spirit Links available. I'd just like to see him Trinket out of this one, to be honest. His team's so far ahead. They don't have the silence to follow up, though, so maybe he's just going to be okay here. He's being so greedy. The Windmill comes out, double death. Not quite going to finish him off. He does connect the heals onto himself, but now TROUBLEM, they need to get offensive. They do have the trinkets available. Kavi used his to peel, but Rana has his. We'll have a Spirit Link for the next setup. Also, Minpoike dropping low. No wings for 20 seconds. He's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, he decides to trinket out of that stun. Kavi's looking to Cyclone him, but Minpoike stops it with that Rebuke. Now he's line of sighting him. Zuniaki pulled back with Minpoike as well. They could set up a kill on Kavi. Kavi has no trinket. I'd really like to see them abuse that since he's so far in, but they're going to go after Rana again, I think. Maybe they're using the Horrify for CC. No, they do decide to follow it up with that Fist of Justice. Trinket and Spirit Link just became available, so they can trade that out and go aggressive. Minpoike needs to be ready for that. Pops the Avenging Wrath, keeps his team going. Rana's being greedy, does decide to trinket in those last seconds, but unfortunately Kavi wasn't able to get into that Spirit Link. He's going to be still kind of low on health. He's trying to get some healing surges out to fix that situation. Silence isn't going to be available for Zuniaki for quite some time, so they're going to switch targets instead. Go after the Warlock. They've managed to get his Dark Regeneration with no CC. That is a critical opening. They might be able to burst him down here in the next setup, but it's a very scary moment for Minpoike as his Avenging Wrath falls off. Good Cyclones out from Kavi. That's going to deny any healing. Full stun to Minpoike. I'd really like to see a Cyclone here from Kavi onto Minpoike. They might be able to just kill Zuni or Raikou. It doesn't look like Kavi wants to go for it. Now trying to look for it, but Minpoike should be able to. He doesn't line of sight it. He wasn't able to. And now Raikou's going to rot down. Zuni's going to rot down. They had to defensively defreeze Kavi, but they're setting up a kill onto Rana. Rana's going to need so much help. Who is going to save him? Barbie Girl trinkets out. He rebuffs, trying to give him a little bit of extra stamina. Kavi's trying to peel with some Cyclones. I think he faked the counterspell. He needs more help. He needs help now. The silence. He still froze the silence, but it's not enough. The help comes in way too late, and Northern Gaming Blue take game number 2.
Yep, another convincing game from NG Blue. You'd actually thought TROUBLEM had lived long enough to win this one. Kavi's second incarnation came up, which is normally the point where the Shadow kind of falls so far behind, but Minpoike did such a great job. He was always able to line up his wings for some offensive cooldowns on the side of TROUBLEM, able to keep his team up for way longer than perhaps they should live. Excellent job on the side of NG Blue, and they just had one strategy. They stuck to it over and over. Zuniaki just pushing for the fear time and time again. Gets the CC onto Rana, into, of course, the Horrify, the Hodge, etc., etc. And ultimately, it does land them the kill just because of how well they survived.
You normally don't see the Mage at the top damage in this matchup, and I think that's where we go into, like, Pancake's not being the most comfortable on his Warlock. It seemed like he was tunneling Minpoike a lot and then didn't keep his dots up very well on Zuniaki and Raikou, and he really needed to keep his dots up on Zuni to punish how aggressively he was going in. If he had maintained full dots on Zuni, Minpoike would have been torn. He would have to... So the Cyclone was interrupted by Raikou, and they didn't have a fear to follow it up. Now instead, they're deciding to play Jungle Cleave into Northern Gaming Blue's Shatter play. Interesting. I guess they want to just play their more comfort classes, but I'm not entirely sure if this matchup's even favorable for them. It might be even at best.
Yeah, I think the Jungle Cleave does have certainly a reasonable chance against the Shadow play, but like you say, it's not an easy matchup by any means. We'll see Raikou, he just pops his Icy Veins instantly. The offensive bop coming up from Minpoike, that's pretty standard practice for the Paladins, just to exchange that out for the first set of crows. He actually gets locked after the Purge, so he's going to fall slightly behind him. Might have to trade out that wing soon, but at the same time, Kavi dropping so low. Trinkets, uses the wall, the double fair, beautiful from Zuniaki. Kavi's doing a really good job of peeling himself though, but it might not be enough. He's casting the Healing Touch, gets locked out by Raikou. Flex really needs to get out of this.
They're going to regional.
He goes down. Trinkets into the DR Silence. Zuniaki instant on that re-CC, and that's going to kill off Kavi. That's going to secure NG Blue's spot at regionals. Kavi still at the second wall. It's just they fell too far behind in the two FLS games. I respect the Jungle Cleave. I think Jungle Cleave does have a decent chance into the Shadow play, but it's just too late in the series, even if they could win this game. which unfortunately they were not able to. A beautiful set of plays coming out from Zuniaki there.
Yeah, Zuniaki really got to shine in this series. We didn't get to see him much in the tournaments overall, but here decides to go out and play, wins 3-0 versus TROUBLEM. TROUBLEM thought they could catch Northern Gaming off guard with a Feral Lock Shaman composition. Unfortunately, if you don't practice something, it's not going to be able to perform. So Minpoike's team obviously practiced with Zuniaki, so they've got that edge. They knew how to play the matchup, and they just punished TROUBLEM for their inexperience on that composition and take the series 3-0. They've committed their spot now to the European Regionals. They will be the 7th team. Now we need an 8th team.
Yep, and so we have one more series left. Well, we have a lot more series left. We have one more that decides our final regional spot. NG Blue taking this 3-0, as you can see on your screens. And